Hey guys, so I want to share a little bit about my story of being born into covert government torture programs and stuff. And I've dealt with intentional infections my entire life that have caused chronic illnesses and even acute illnesses. Um, but I've also been hit by these Havana syndrome weapons, right? Directed energy weapons, DEWs is what targeted individuals, TIs, call them for short, DEWs, directed energy weapons, DEW. Um, so the first time I can pinpoint that I was hit with directed energy weapons was probably sixth grade, but it might have started before then. I'm not sure. But so sixth grade for me, how old was I? That was 11 years old. So this is 1985. So this technology's been around for a while, and controlled by the U.S. government and other parties for a long time. I would get hit in class and all these things, couldn't pay attention. It was and of course I was blamed for all these things. I was blamed for the infections. I was blamed for the intense fatigue and brain fog that it causes. And then I was blamed for my poor academic performance. And so and never the core issue was never identified. And then I want to fast forward to my sophomore year of college at BU, Boston University. After I received a CIA-induced acid trip the summer between my freshman and sophomore year that was meant to break me mentally. Well, I went back to Boston, and that happened in Houston, Texas. I went back to Boston, Massachusetts, to start my sophomore year. This is when my first true gang stalking really started in 1993. Okay. And I was getting hit awfully with these Havana syndrome weapons. But this is 1993 is the first time I dealt with what is known as voice to skull technology, V2K. Now, this is technology where if somehow through like radio frequencies or something that these parties will direct things into your ears and then make sound appear as though it's coming from your head, these voices like it's coming from your head. It's really diabolical. And then they try to frame the people that they're projecting these technology onto as schizophrenic. They're hearing voices. But it's there's nothing delusional about it. There's nothing hallucinatory about it. It's extremely diabolical. It's extremely evil. For people who want a precedent of this, of how this was used by the military, if you remember when I believe it was the second time the United States invaded Iraq and took out Saddam Hussein, they wanted to take out the Iraqi Republican Guard and things like that. And so what they did is that they used these weapons on the forces early on, the Iraqi forces, military forces, early on. But then for the voice that was planted inside these people's head, they said that this is God, this is the law, and that they need to submit and put down their weapons and give up. Who would do that other than evil, right? That to claim that they're God and to surrender because the God is telling them to surrender, and the forces did. They're like, oh my God, they freaked out. They didn't know what to think about it. They all just like threw down their weapons and submitted. So, what year was that? That was late 90s or something, right? Um, and yeah, purely evil. But anyways, so my covert torture has never ended. 51 years, over 51 years, I've been going through this. It actually started when I was in my mother's womb. And but I'd never heard of directed energy weapons or voice to V2K, voice to skull technology. I'd never heard of DEWs or V2K. until about 2 years ago. And so, but I knew that these voices were like, I didn't. Okay, so I'm actively getting gang stalked in 1993, right? And I'm being told, and they're trying to induce social anxiety and to break me, and like, oh my God, look at this freak, blah 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 blah, and like getting in my way. And it's just like awful, right? You have no idea what to think of anything, and this would be happening when I'd leave my dormitory and go to class and walk the streets of Boston, right? And I obviously had to go to class. Incredibly, I still did all right academically. I was an engineering student, and I was still getting B's, which is pretty solid considering everything I was enduring. Pretty remarkable. Never finished that degree because yeah, they kept going. But my point is that with the V2K, I was like, this is not coming from me, and it's certainly not coming from God or another dimension, right? That this is and so I would be walking down the streets trying to just maintain and get my life done, feed myself, go to class, to get my homework done, things like that, do all right on the exams, get my assignments done. And but I had to keep on pushing through everything. But so I'd have to walk the streets, and I'd get gang stalked. I'd get this voices in my head, trying to break me. And I'm just like, this is not me. This is not my energy. These are not. This is has no place in my head. And I would just put my head down, walk to class, and I'm just like, this is not. You have no authority over me. You cannot enter my brain. Not knowing what any of this stuff was, what was it, completely clueless. The remarkable thing is that I don't know how many months it took, but eventually voice to skull technology doesn't work on me. I can guarantee you they've tried to use it on me since, but there was something about it that flipped, and so I don't. This technology is ineffective on me, and has been ineffective on me for decades, which is really remarkable, which shows how much power that we have, right? It's really beautiful when you break it all down. So, but I've still been vulnerable, of course, to the intentional infections through the parasites and other things that are very visually elusive, and they're demons, these worms. And when I say parasites, I'm referring to literal parasitic worms and protozoan parasites. And then I've also still been subjected and defenseless to the Havana syndrome type weapons. Excuse me, with nicotine has clinical properties. It's not all evil. Okay, I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't vape. But nicotine is an anti-helminthic, meaning it's an anti-parasitic drug, which is why I still use the pouches. So please drop the judgment there. I do want to provide you a little bit of context why I did that. I probably shouldn't put it in the video, but whatever. I'm an open book. I don't hide anything. Anyways, back to subject is that it's remarkable. I blocked out the V2K. I have ever since, and this hasn't been a knowing process. My body just adapted, my brain, and I was given spiritual strength to block out these voices, these foreign voices from my brain. But I've still been subjected to the intense brain fog and fatigue and all that stuff, and of course the parasitic worm attacks that are unleashed upon me. But then I started thinking like, wow, okay, so if I had the power to block the V2K, then I should also have the authority and the power to block these Havana syndrome weapons, the brain fog and fatigue, right? And then I should also be able to have sort of a light body that repels, right, these parasitic worms. So this is what I'm working on. So the more that evil continues to abuse me with these covert torture programs, guys, I'm gonna figure it out with help from my spirit team and through belief and love of myself and standing in light and standing in truth. I'm gonna figure it out. And then what weapons are you guys gonna have? Zero. So keep on bringing me. I don't care. I don't care because the amount of stuff I've overcome over my life is really remarkable. But the reason why this made me think about this is that what these dark forces that surveil me through the deep state, however you want to label it, it's a coordinated effort between CIA, FBI, and NSA and other foreign intel agencies. I've got the Mossad on me and things like that too. It's a coordinated evil. What they love to do, what they've loved to do for the past, for a long time, well, definitely since 2019, is to hit me with these directed energy weapons where I get crippling brain fog and fatigue, where I immediately just have to like lie down, right? And then as soon as I lie down and try to take a nap or something, because I can't, I'm completely dysfunctional, then they like to follow that up and then unleash an army of parasitic worms to come infect me while I'm defenseless. Pure evil, right? And so this was happening yesterday. I was working and stuff and on my laptop and on the website, not that kind of crazy.com, right? I'm crazy to take on the website. I'm going to take on the system, to take on evil, but I'm not delusional. I'm not psychotic. So that's why that name exists for my online platform that is growing and evolving and has tremendous information for everybody. I recommend everybody check it out. Anyways, so yesterday I'm getting they're hitting me hard with these dudes with these Havana syndrome weapons, and so one tool that we all have, right, is that you can put on headphones and put on music, and that's what I was doing, and so with the music in the background, when and with good music, high vibrational frequencies, then you can cancel out what because how these weapons, these dudes enter your brain and your body is through the ears. So if you cancel them out, then they really can't impact you. So, but it takes a while for your brain and stuff to bounce back, right? For your central nervous system to bounce back. So, I I put on these headphones and sat down on my bed and listened to meditative music. I listened to, anyways, it's not important what I listen to. Well, there's Weightless by Marconi Union, which is fantastic, and I listened to some other frequencies and stuff. So, and I just smiled, and I'm just like, dude, you don't realize with each attack you're building me up. You're not bringing me down, and you're empowering me. And so I felt very, very empowered at that moment because I have these tools and I know what to do and I know what I've overcome, which is really remarkable. And I thank God and I thank my spirit team for guiding me throughout all of this. And so, yeah, they hit me hard with those dudes, hard. And then they sent some worms, and I just sat there and I was like, come on, bring it, man. I got the strength, I got the power. The reason that the devil does not rob an empty house, it does not attack a person because they're weak, right? So it tells me how much power I do have, and which is truly a blessing. So go ahead, evil. Keep on hitting me with these directed energy weapons, with these Havana Syndrome weapons. Keep on hitting me with the parasites. Because you're building me up. Each attack builds me up. The irony, the divine irony in all this is beautiful. Beautiful. So I am blessed. So I wanted to give that historical context, and all of this started at least in 1985, if not, or 85, 86, if not even at a younger age with the directed energy weapons, although the parasitosis has been happening my entire life. And the V2K started in 1993. But I overcame that, and I'm going to overcome all of this. And that each time they attack me, they're racking up not only felony convictions, they're racking up terrorism charges. It's pretty serious. It's pretty serious according to state, federal, and international laws. So these people are really just digging themselves enormous holes. I can't believe how stubborn evil is, and how it's really mind blowing that they continue to do this stuff to me. Because not only are they building up their karmic debts, their spiritual debts, and their literal crimes, they're also building me up. So I love God's irony. I really do. I really do. It's really beautiful. Anyways, just wanted to sum that up, that if you're being attacked because you're powerful, and you can overcome this stuff, and we will overcome this stuff. And anyways, have a great day. I hope everybody's doing fantastic. We're blessed, and let's reverse the polarity in this world. We have the power.